Hey everybody, it's Mr. Cognetti from Citizenship Academy, and I'm really excited today. Today we are going to start learning about how to tell time. So I drew a gigantic clock behind me, so hopefully we can visualize it and it's a little bit easier for us. And now I wish we could all have our own clocks to work with, but given the situation we're in, that's not really possible as of right now. So hopefully this will do, okay? So I have this big circle up here. This is our clock. And do we notice these dotted lines that I put coming from this center dot? Now, I want you to look at these dotted lines and I want you to think, are these shapes that I've created equal sizes? So I have one, imagine line up to there, here. So I have a big kind of triangle thing here. Another one right here. Another one here. And they go all the way around the clock, okay? So, I want you to think, are these equal sizes? Now, again, I'm not perfect at drawing, so they might be a little off, but do they look equal to you? They are equal sizes, okay? Now, I might not have drawn them perfectly, but in a perfect world, these would be equal sizes. So we have one here that is the same size as this shape here. So it's from that number to this one, from here to here. These are equal distances apart, okay? I want you to now count with me to see how many we have on this clock. I'm going to count the outer edge. So I'm going to start here. We're going to start with 0, okay? Even though this says 12, you'll see why. We're going to start with 0, okay? So we're going to count. Ready? Do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many equal parts are there to this clock? There are 12. All right, we started up here, went all the way around, ended right there, and we ended on the number 12. So there are 12 equal parts. Now if you notice, I numbered each of them already. So from here to here is 1, there, 2. So these are the numbers we're going to use to help us tell time. Okay, so we have 12 equal parts. All right. Next, what else do we need on a clock to make this to make sure we have everything we need to tell time? Can you think of anything that I'm missing? We need the little arrows or the points. We call those hands. Those are the hands of a clock, okay? We have two different hands. We have a minute hand and we have an hour hand, okay? So one hand, whatever number it points to, we will read for the minutes. The other hand, what number it points to, we'll read for the hours, okay? So a minute hand and an hour hand. Now, our hour hand is shorter, okay? So I'm going to put, instead of drawing a hand each time, I'm going to use my magnets. So I'm going to put an hour hand starting from the center. Both hands start from the center. And our hour hand doesn't quite make it to the edge of the circle. All right, this is the shorter one, our hour hand. It tells us what hour it is. Now, our minute hand is the longer hand. So this hand is going to go all the way up towards the end of the clock. Do you see how this green hand is a lot longer than the red hand right there? So right here we have the hour hand and we have the minute hand. All right? Now, whenever the minute hand is pointing to the 12, so the minute hand, longer hand, hour hand, shorter hand. When the minute hand is pointing to the 12, we don't say 12, we say o'clock, okay? Whenever it's pointing to the 12, we don't say that number, we say o'clock. So say that with me, ready? O'clock. You've heard people say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. That o'clock means that the minute hand is pointing to the 12. The hour hand, what is the hour hand pointing to? Not right here. If you were to draw it longer, what would the hour hand be pointing to? Be pointing to the number 1. Well, the hour hand's easy. We say the number it's pointing to. So if it's pointing to number 1, it is, the hour of the day is 1. So it's 1 o'clock. All right, so this is what 1 o'clock looks like. We have the hour hand pointing to the 1, and the minute hand, which is the longer hand, pointing to the 12. And we don't say 1:12, we say 1 o'clock. Ready? Say that with me. 1 o'clock. All right, so there's 1 o'clock. Now, when these hands are going around in a circle, they go like this. So they spin around the circle like this all day. They never stop moving. They both move at the same time. The minute hand just moves a little faster. So this minute hand is going to go all the way around the clock in the same amount of time it takes our hour hand to shift from one number to the next. So for our hour hand to go from the 1 to the 2, this minute hand would go all the way around back up to here. What do you yeah, I know you can't see the 2 very well right here, but there's a 2 right there. Sorry, I can't get rid of that glare in this room. But we imagine this hand went all the way around and the hour hand went from the 1 to the 2. Okay, so now it doesn't say 1 o'clock, it says 2 o'clock. All right? Because the minute hand is still pointing to the 12, or it's back at the 12, so we say o'clock. We don't say the number when we're using our minute hand. Our hour hand, we say the number it's pointing to. Okay? Now, if I were to do this, what number is the hour hand pointing to? The hour hand is the shorter hand, okay? What number is the hour hand pointing to? It is pointing to 3. And then we have our minute hand still going straight up. That's all we're working with today. We're working with o'clock. So what time is this clock showing now? Give you a couple seconds to think about it. Yeah, it is 3 o'clock. And to write that, we would write it like this. We'd write a 3, and we put in 2 little dots that separate from the hour and the minutes. And then we have basically 0 minutes. It's the beginning of 3 o'clock. So it is 3 o'clock. This is what o'clock looks like. We say o'clock when there are 2 zeros. Sometimes a lot of the times you guys see time written like this on a clock. It's called a digital clock. We have those in our classroom. So this says 3 o'clock. That's how we'd write it. And this big clock here says 3 o'clock. All right? So in a second, I'm going to change this clock to 7 o'clock. I want you to think about what this clock's going to look like before I change it. Where is this hour hand going to be pointing? And where is the minute hand going to be pointing for 7 o'clock? Okay? Think about that. Do you think you know what it's going to look like? All right. Where's my hour hand going to be pointing for 7 o'clock? What number? It's going to be pointing at 7. So I'm going to move this. Imagine this hand going like that. Okay? I'm going to move my hour hand down so it's pointing at 7. Now, does this say 7 o'clock? Do I need to move my minute hand? Where is the minute hand pointing when we say o'clock? It's pointing right up to the 12. We don't have to move it at all. It's already there. So this is 7 o'clock. The way we'd write that, hours first, the hour is 7. Then we put these 2 dots to separate our hours and our minutes. And the way we write o'clock is 0, 0. There's no extra minutes past 7. This is 7 o'clock, okay? All right, let me think of another time real quick. If I'm going to show 10 o'clock, what hand did I move? Did I move the hour hand or the minute hand to show 10 o'clock? This shows 10 o'clock. Did I move the hour hand or the minute hand? Let me hear your answer. I moved the hour hand. Remember, the hour hand is the shorter hand. The minute hand is the bigger hand, okay? And once again, we call these hands. I know they're not actual hands on a clock, but we call them hands. It's the term we use. All right? So, that's most of it for today. I'm going to recap real quick what we just learned. We learned that a clock is split into 12 equal parts. Those are the hours, okay? We learned that there are things that spin around on the clock called hands, and there are two of them. There's the hour hand, which is the shorter hand, and the minute hand, which is the bigger hand, okay? So, we read the hour hand first, and then the minute hand. And when the minute hand is pointing to the 12, what do we say? We don't say 12. We say o'clock. All right. Very good job, guys. For your assessment today, I will let you guys know that in the description. I'm just going to write it out what you guys have to do, okay? So if you need help reading that, ask your parent or your brother or your sister or anybody who can help you read. But I know a lot of you can read yourself, so you'll be able to do it. Great job. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time when we're talking about time. Have a good day.